I mean, one of the guys wants to do 7 barndominiums on a piece of property in Naples. Market value probably 800,000 to 1.2 million each. So and we've been pretty deep into the conversations with him. So everything's as advertised. We're getting quite a few leads. I get a lot of, hey, I want that exact house or exact barndominium on your your ad. But I want to
You
tap
get
into
people
this.
ask, you get people saying, "Hey, can I get the thing I saw on that ad?"
I want they're literally like, I want some. That's the guy I told you in Naples. He wants 7 barndominiums, just like one of the first homes. It's beautiful, lit. We build custom homes like that, but he loves it. So he's like, I want 7 of them. I'm like, I thought it was a joke, but no, the guy's serious. He's not playing.
Wow. So
So
you're saying that the guy in Naples that wants 7 barndominiums, $7-8 million in total for the project, he saw our ad and he's like, I want what was in that video.
yeah, how do you yeah, what's it going to cost me to build the added the something like that in your ad? And I'm like, well, shit, let me go back and look at the ad and see. I didn't
Wow.
say that obviously, but I'm like, yeah, we got you. You know, we got you, man. Don't worry.
God, and so you come from a custom home building background and you've built millions of dollars of custom homes. So
hmm
what actually inspired you to reach out to us in the first place for the meta buildings?
Well, specifically for me, I'm in South Florida and it's somewhat untapped area for barndominiums. I get a lot of phone calls, hey, we're going to do a custom home. We're not sure if we want to do a barndominium or if we want to do a, traditional style, either stick frame or block home. And it just prompted my interest. I've done some metal buildings, some packing houses for agricultural guys, some industrial stuff, and um, where I realized there was an opening in the market, potentially a profitable, lucrative niche here.
Mhm.
And so I saw one of your ads, and I want to say Facebook, and we don't. I've never spent a dollar on marketing, which is, I'm proud of that, but I'm also not. I don't. I want to choose who my customers are at this point. I don't want to just wait and see who comes in the door. So, and that's a space that I felt like we could grow our business in a positive way, and we just kind of took a flyer with you guys.
Yeah, and we only launched your campaign, less than a week ago, right? Or it might have been
Mm,
7 or 8 days from today. So
yeah.
what's been the result so far in the last week?
So, I can tell you right now, I've probably had 75, 80 leads and a couple really, yeah, like, how it is. Some of the leads are great. Some of them are, just people checking in, kicking the tires, but a few really promising upcoming potential leads that we're getting pretty far along the road with the guys. High-end barndominiums right in my backyard that they would have never reached out. I would have never bumped these people without the simple ad that you guys ran, effective enough to where one of the customers, potential clients, literally asked me to build him what from one of the images or a couple of the images on the ad on Facebook. So
So you're saying
that's
these customers are
exciting.
seeing our ads and they're like, I want what was in that video. Can you give me that
Exactly
back?
what he said. That's exactly what he said. So
And
yeah,
it's
he
only been like 8 or 9 days, right? But I think you
yeah.
told me that there was this one, is a complex or something down in Naples.
Yeah, so we got a guy that's looking to build multiple projects, similar projects. He got a very really good budget for what we feel like we could do for him, and could be a very lucrative deal for us. It gets us into the lane that we want to be in. We do traditional custom homes and trying to maybe move the business a little bit into the barndominium space and out of that traditional home
Okay.
market.
Yes. So what would you say to a contractor that, is kind of in your position that maybe they come from a general contracting background, used to doing things like residential remodels or custom homes, and they're seeing there's a surge of like obviously there's a huge movement right now with the metal buildings and barndominiums in most of the country. What would you say to somebody
Yeah,
like that? It's kind of on the fence, maybe they feel like they have the experience and the knowledge to do the work, but they don't know how to actually get in front of those customers. So what would you say to
yeah,
those people?
yeah. So for me specifically, that's not my strength. Marketing and that kind of deal. I know what I'm good at, and I've been fortunate that we really have been a referral only business, but um, we discussed it before. Like I'm tired of just waiting to see who comes in the door, and I want to target I want to choose my customers. I want to cast a wider net to be able to access more opportunity and the right type of customers rather than just kind of waiting to see who comes through the door. So for me, it was an easy decision. I had a couple calls with your sales team, and they did a good job explaining to me how the process works, and I was excited to jump on board. And like I said, we've had a lot of traffic. It's early. I've got to do better on my end with the callbacks and keeping up with people, but we're making some positive gain. We're
Yeah,
making
so,
some
so you're
gains.
feeling like the positive pressure of like the when you feel a little bit overwhelmed, right, with how many customers are calling you, which is a good problem
Uh,
to have, right?
no, yeah, it's a very good problem to
But
have.
that's okay. Like, that higher level business development stuff that we can train you or your if down
Right.
the road when you hire more salespeople or somebody to answer the phone, like giving them the processes and tools and systems in place so that way things aren't slipping through the cracks and you are able
Yeah,
to
yeah. I've
like
actually
just
had already,
back on.
I've interviewed. I had to have someone come in. I've already interviewed a couple of people for a position to help with that. So we're not there yet, but I can see where it's headed. So I've kind of started that process already.
Yeah, good that you're thinking about it now because a lot of contractors wants to hire things out and like some contractors like to stay small, right? Kind of a either mom and pop shop or kind of maintain that, client facing position where they're able to, answering every phone call on every job site, which is fine, right? You can make a lot of money doing that. But,
Mm.
you know, the contractors that want to grow bigger and they want to hire maybe a sales team or bring on field estimators, project managers. You can't really do that unless you have predictable workflow because what happens if you hire this person, you can't afford to pay them. Or you
Right,
you hire them, there's no work for them to do.
right,
So you're now in that crossroads, right? Where the momentum is building in a good way, but you also need to build capacity, which it
right.
sounds like you've already realized that you're not new to business. So
Yeah, no, I can sense that we're gonna have to ramp up in certain specific areas. And first, that's got to be better. We've got to be better at that for sure. I'm getting the leads. We're processing them. We're sorting through the good and the bad. We're making our calls and our emails, but it needs to be a little bit more organized because it's somewhat like drinking from a fire hose right now. The leads are just they're steady. I mean, we've had two or three while I'm sitting here and I'm getting leads, while we're sitting here. So it's been interesting. Definitely been good.
yeah, no, you're not even joking. I'm seeing this right now.
Yeah. Mm.
Just somebody saying, "Hey, call me, Angel,"
Yeah.
or this person wants to build a barndominium in Punta Gorda, or this person wants to build a
Yeah.
barndominium in Fort Pierce. Yeah, it's coming through right
Yeah.
now, or dance barn. Yeah,
You're just coming in, man, hot and heavy. So, and then like, these are all in my backyard. So that's what we're looking for. So, um, yeah, just
it's a
while I'm
good thing
sitting
though that
here.
if because although you have the experience as a custom home builder, there's going to be some customers where like you're learning as you go, right? But by
Yeah.
having so much volume of opportunity, it's okay if you mess up one or two conversations because you have
Right.
30 more to go to.
Yeah. I
And
have,
that takes off a lot of pressure off yourself.
it does. It does. And like I said before, we've been blessed. We have a good network we have a good backlog of work. We're busy now. We stayed busy even during the slower times. Um, I'm thankful for that. But again, there's there's a difference when you can kind of choose your clients and you can say no more often because you pick the right customers to make sure they're the right fit for you, not just you being the right fit for the customer. So that's been exciting. It's I'm looking forward to it. We got to get better at a few things on my end and we need to dial this thing in a little bit, but it's really been good so far.
Yeah, it's only been 10 days, right?
Yeah, I feel like
So
it
I guess
just
where do you see
happened.
yourself
Yeah.
now in your business going now that you built this momentum? Like what's the 90-day roadmap?
Yeah, so the goal for me is honestly to I want to live in this little niche world of barndominiums, and I say little, but I'd like to make that my primary business. The metal buildings, the red iron buildings that we discussed, and the custom homes. There's just so much involved. It's such a long process. I'd prefer to. I'll keep doing that as long as I need to, but I'd rather that be a secondary business than my main source of income. So. Um, we're not there yet. Obviously, I've got a lot of custom homes to get through that we've already got on the books, but long term, I would like to shift gears and be in this space rather than that one. So
Yeah.
that's our goal.
Why even switch from custom homes to barndominiums though?
It's a faster, well, it's anybody can go put a custom home up and there's so many guys that do it, and it turns into a Walmart mentality. I want this for a cheap price. I want high quality for a cheap price. And there's a lot of guys just like me that are good contractors. And then, we're out here fighting for the same
Mhm.
market. There's just not a lot from what I can tell so far, talking to these potential customers and suppliers. So what I've done is reached out and kind of got access to some suppliers and a couple manufacturers or retailers and suppliers that they don't have guys down here like us that can turnkey the whole project. So, they have their directors that will follow and they'll travel all over the world and do this and that, but they don't have guys that can do the site work, they can do the erection, or slab erection, and then do the full build out on the inside. So for us, and truthfully, I would prefer just to go do the site work, the slab, and do the erection of the metal building and let somebody else deal with the build out. But we have that ability to carry it all the way through. So it's good for the suppliers and it's good for the customer. The customer doesn't want to deal with, he doesn't want to go find a guy to pour a slab, then get with a manufacturer, then get an erection crew, and then go find a plumber, electrician. He just wants to let one person manage all that for him. And the same thing with the supplier. They won't even take calls down here because they don't have a concrete guy. They don't have an erection crew. They don't have people that can do the foam insulation. I'm learning that for these guys as well, they see this as an opportunity. So I've made some early potential not partnerships, but business relationships that I think could be mutually beneficial for us and for the supplier. So it seems that way anyways. And it's exciting in that aspect as well. So I feel like we're kind of getting in as busy as it is. I still feel like we're on the front end of this little surge in metal buildings, and it's a trend. And it's been going on for a while. I've had quite a few people ask me for if we do barndominiums, and I've always said no, no, no. And now, this is just going to open up another sector for us.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see how this kind of works out for you, Ryan. So
Yeah, me too. It's been fun so far. It's been exciting. So,
yeah, appreciate you taking the time.
yep, you got it.